Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Nadlan, broadcasting to you from the East Coast of New York, giving you daily updates from real estate entrepreneurs so you can become one yourself. And today we have post number 1+2 from a new entrepreneur of the week, Maor Buchnik, about the investment that changed her life. So who are we? Nadlan is providing real estate courses, mentoring, financing, deal analysis, and great deal offerings. If you like our content, please give us a thumbs up and register to our channel and hit the notification button so you can get updates and alerts when we post new content. It will make sure that everyone get notified about every new video that we post. And you can also find us on social network and in our website, nadlanforum.com. So let's get to it. All right, guys. Introductory post, Maor Buchnik. Hi, everyone. I'm Maor Buchnik. I've been doing real estate in the US since 2015, and I'll be your entrepreneur of the week for the next week. I'll try to give you a glimpse into my world. Hope you do not get bored. But first, we're going to dive into how it all started, because for me, it's all started in reverse. I'll start right at the beginning, because my story has an important moral to all the young people here. So I come from a Polish home, a home that my parents pushed to be hired doctors and lawyers. I did not have many options because I didn't have a psychometric exam result of 750. So I had option B left, to be a lawyer. So much fun. So here I am, a 22-year-old girl going to study law without really knowing what it means. I will summarize to you my 3.5 years of schooling without too much suffering digging, but I survived to tell. All these years, I knew that this profession is really not for me. I am at all with a creative head, an entrepreneur. I thought interior design, I thought of beautiful houses, I thought deals, I thought real estate. I do not belong to law at all. Still, I graduated with 3 outstanding dean's certificates and a scholarship as an outstanding seminar award winner. And I'm not telling to be arrogant, yes? So anyone who learns like me, like a parrot, can achieve what I have achieved. I acted out of a desire to excel in what I do, and not out of a passion for the profession. And in this inner dissonance, I realized I was on the wrong path for me. But I continued, like a good girl, prestige commercial litigation somewhere on the 20th floor of some real estate monster in Tel Aviv. And also there I suffered and cursed every last day, but even that was not enough for me. At the end of the internship, I moved to an equally fascinating field, taxes. I worked 4 years as a lawyer in the field, another pompous office to another. Until one day, boom, closed the tax department at the office where I worked. What do I do now? I just got back from maternity leave. I'm with a 7-month-old baby. I have a nice salary. I live well, but in a cage of gold. And basically, at the moment, I am told, get out. The gate has opened. So what do I do now? With your permission, imagine that we are in a movie, and I'm now taking you back in time, first gear. So I'm now after the military, doing a psychometric, taking out the score of 550, which is quite low, and announcing to parents that a doctor is not that I'm not going to be a doctor. But the main thing is that I've finished this damn and unnecessary test, and I want to live my life until graduation. And what is the thing that interests me the most? Well, believe it or not, what interested me for 20 years old and also interests me this day and interests all of us was to make money. I'm 20 years old and do not exactly see myself working at a gas station for 5,000 New Israeli shekels a month. to get another 5,000 Israeli shekels as a grant for being in the army after half a year. I have to think big. How the hell do I make more money with only 12 years of schooling? Then I discovered that there is a whole world called Israelis working in the US. Yes, yes, like many at the time. I became a foreign worker and illegal in the land of endless possibilities. Even then I understood it. In favor of dollars in the world of shopping carts, like in the malls and door-to-door sales. I literally moved house a house to house and offered pictures for sale. But friends, as a 20-year-old girl, I made a great money in short time. I gave up the trip to South America because I'm not one of those who will now spend all the money I made on a trip. I'm a girl who loves money, and I returned to Israel after half a year. Let's jump a little in time. Here I am, 26 years old, after school, in the terrible period I already told about, the internship. So thankfully, most of the time my head was not in the legislation books at all. My head was in, okay, I have money, I saved that, cannot sit like that just in the bank. What do I do with it? Real estate. I was always interested, and even then I understood the rules of the book Poor Dad Rich Dad. Specializing in law, I defended every second hand to find a good job for my money and found it. The investment in retrospect will change the course of my life. At the moment of this constitutive climax, I will tell you the rest of the story about my first investment tomorrow. All right, so we can see Maor here. All right, and let's jump to post number 2. The investment that changed my life. So I came up with ideas, and to see them flush it out, it was really fun. Apartment in Haifa, not something class C compared to the US with that kind of resident. Not a new building, but very well maintained. So this is the apartment that Maor purchased in Haifa, in Israel. 3 bedrooms. There is a tenant who lives there for 6 years, paying 2,500 new Israeli shekels a month. I bought it for 400,000 new Israeli shekel, of which 150,000 I put cash, and the rest I took as a mortgage. My risk-averse Polish family objected. Why do you need all of this? But I was determined. After the mortgage repayment, I was left with 1,000 new Israeli shekel in hand every month, 12,000 new Israeli shekels per year, 8% annual return on my money from home. Fantastic deal. But nothing preparing me for it. About a year and a half later, a broker approached me and said that if I wanted to sell, he has a buyer. I was intrigued, even though that was not my plan. And after negotiation, I closed the buyer at 550,000 new Israeli shekel. Boom! I made 150,000 shekels a year and a half, and there was no praise tax. At the annual return, it turned out I made 120% on my money. It was a sense of winning the lottery that only whetted my appetite and courage to make trades and take risks. Then, in parallel with my studies and work, somewhere in 2015, I began to realize that if I really like to make high-yield deals, the US is my destination. I started sniffing a bit in the market. In 2015, there were not many companies doing real estate in the US like there are today. And I realized that all the companies sell me the same thing. They buy the house, renovate it, and I buy the house from them. There is a management company, there are checks every month. Sometimes checks are guaranteed in advance, sometimes not. The known trick. In the test I did, I found that all the houses without exception are sold to me at a price higher than the market price. That is, the seller or the company cut me a very fat coupon. So much so that when I want to sell the house, I will probably lose. Well, I'm a good Israeli and I probably am not. Very quickly, I realized that, as in any field, if I have no one for me, I understand what these companies do. I need to do it myself. So I chose the market in Michigan, which some companies presented to me would sound promising. And I decided to do exactly the same thing. I found a good agent full of motivation after sending emails to more than 30 agents who linked me to a management company who connected me to a contractor, and that's how I found my first property in the city of Lansing in the US. I bought the property, I renovated it, a tenant came in, the rent knocked, everything really knocked like clockworks, and with the food came the appetite. I bought another property, and it was a success. Suddenly, my Polish parents, also looking at my activities, and even they are gathering courage, flew together, and I also bought them one property, which to this day the rent from it knocks like a clockworks. And as a bonus, it has also tripled in value. I'm making a leap forward in time. Remember from the previous post that the tax department I worked for closed down? So I saw in these layoffs an opportunity. One door closes, but a new door opened for me. And after I had already bought some properties for myself and my family, I decided to go for real estate in the US with all of my might. And the referrals were not long in coming. I started lending investors to buy the first house, and their second to friends from the first and second circle. All the properties, without exception, currently tripled their value and are still rented. After a while, I lend investors to buy income-producing properties. I discovered the world of flips. I do not need to expand here what a flip is. I guess you all already know. This field fascinated me. I felt I was born to do flips, creating something out of nothing that drove me crazy. Taking a neglected and abandoned property, there were some that even 15 years no one lived in, and make it a captivating home, new, stylish, and beautiful. Made me butterflies in the stomach every house in great excitement. On my first flip I made $20,000 in 2 months and invested less than $50,000. On the second flip, I made $45,000 within 3 months and invested $120,000. I felt I had discovered America, literally, and I started investing everything I have only in flips. I went on shopping trips at malls, at city auctions, at online auctions. Everything that made sense in numbers was bought. And the competition then was not as great as it is today. It was literally my playground. Between 2017 to 2019, I did over 40 flips in Michigan and also a bit in Arkansas recently, both myself and with individual investors, both with small and large investor groups. Most of the time, I managed more than 15 projects at once. I was in all the hats. 2. In attracting investors, also in locating the assets, producing reports, purchasing, renovating, designing the asset, my favorite part. Managing, supervising, selling, well, that is actually my favorite part. Do not think that everything went smoothly. I believe that every good entrepreneur is an entrepreneur who has already failed. And indeed, I also have failures in the school bag, which of course I will not spare you. Spoiler, was also a partner who betrayed me and made me not sleep whole nights. So what is the moral of my story that I hope interested you, even though I did not spare words? Number 1, go and learn and do. What does you do good and not to want something else? Although in retrospect, also being a lawyer who specializes in taxes has helped me a lot in the real estate world. Still these years, I think I could channel them for my success in another way. Number 2, dare. True, the risk is always there, but if you always look at the risk, you will just stay stuck in the place. In the picture, me and my first home in Michigan that will always have a warm place in my heart. So this is the first home of Maor. Very, very nice. All right, thank you, Maor, for being with us. And we will be with you tomorrow with post number 3 for Maor. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day.